Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now vault.
Shortly after midnight, a 44-car train traveling through Sabula, for some reason, jumped the track. The first 12 cars derailed, sending railroad cars scattering like a toy train. But this was not a toy. Wedged between a flatbed and boxcar was a tank car full of liquid chlorine. By 2 o'clock, emergency personnel decided they should evacuate a 2-square-block area. By 4, 2/3 of the town was told to seek shelter somewhere else. The highway patrol and firefighters were worried the derailment had punctured a hole in the tank car. The manifest that is required to be carried on the train says, in the event of a leak, evacuate in a radius of 2,900 feet. The patrol heeded the warning. I arrived at 5. A half hour later, a few press people were given a quick tour of the scene.
The exterior shell of the tank has been punctured, but the interior is holding. Our only concern is in the moving of the car, so we're just taking precautions to ensure that if something does happen, we don't have a problem.
Soon, federal and state officials were on the scene. They said it would be cleaned up by 7:30, but 7:30 stretched into 9, and by 10, progress was being made, but slowly.
Although the tank car has not been moved, but I just took a look at it, and talking with some of our people there, we're glad that the ground was as soft as it was. It seems to be cradled in the soft ground, and there are no apparent leaks, and it looks like we'll have the car put on its uprighted shortly.
But the problems continued. It was apparent from the air that new rail had to be laid. By early afternoon, the construction crew was ready to move the injured car onto a flatbed and remove it from the area. Finally, shortly after 2, word came to the command post. The tank car is secure, there are no injuries, it's on its way out of town.
It has been re-railed. There's no danger to the community, although as a precaution, the authorities did evacuate the area. That car will now be moved over to our Savannah freight yard.
Most of those evacuated were awakened between 2 and 4 this morning. Gary Grigsby has their story.
I'm Gary Grigsby. After being forced to leave their homes, some of the people ended up here at the Sabula fire station, where volunteers provided refreshments to dozens of people.
We had hot chocolate and coffee and rolls and sandwiches here for them, and we still do, and we'll be here probably all day, and I've been up all night already.
The evacuation of the town came off without a hitch.
The evacuation is handled by the volunteer fire department. At 5 o'clock, they went door to door in the southern 2/3 of the community, contacted everyone personally, and got people out within about a half hour's time.
Marge Mahler was one of those who was rousted out of bed early this morning.
They said to get everything ready we wanted to take, so I called Wes, and he got up and got his clothes on. We got ready, and I grabbed the little dog, and away we went.
Others came here to the town's only restaurant, which opened 4 hours early.
My sister and I have been here since 1:45, made donuts, took some donuts over to the fire station, and just been running our panties off.
Most of the people who were evacuated came here to the nearby town of Miles, where the Red Cross had set up shop at several locations. Most of the people were elderly. They spent time reading the paper and playing cards. There was also a free lunch of soup and sandwiches, courtesy of the Red Cross. They were bored and anxious to return home, but they weren't scared.
Not at this stage of the game. We don't scare so easily.